Hey everybody. I was not planning on doing a video today. It's actually podcast editing day, and this episode for tomorrow is requiring some editing. But it late last night or yesterday, I should say. I don't know exactly when it happened. Emuparadise issued a statement that they were no longer providing game ROMs on their website. So backing up a little bit, what in the world is all of this? So you can play old retro games of all sorts on your computer using an emulator. And what this does is just a program that pretends like it's an NES, and it lets you play this game, or the SNES or Genesis or whatever the case may be. And the ROMs themselves are copies of the games. So, according, and there's been so much arguing about whether you can use these for backups of your own games legally or not. I'm not a lawyer. They seem to be illegal in all cases from what I've read, but I don't know that. But this has been a practice that's been going on as pretty much as long as at least the internet's been going on, and certainly copying games has been going on way before that. That's not really an excuse if the practice itself is wrong, but this is a long time that this stuff's been going on, and every once in a while, most notably Nintendo, kind of sends some letters and gets things certain games or something taken off or that sort of thing. So, according to the law, this does seem to be illegal. One of the problems as a retro gamer, and this is a real problem. Is that, and especially, and I hate to just put myself in a special class here, but especially as someone who does podcasts and streaming and stuff on retro games exclusively, these games are largely not available anymore. They're not. There are some games that are available in different formats that you can download from the Virtual Console on Wii U, for instance. The one for the Wii has been shut down, and the one for the Wii U was smaller than the one for the Wii. And so I saw a stat earlier on Twitter. Forgive me, I don't know who it came from. I wish I would have written that down. But the availability of games for like the SNES on the Wii U is 1/10 of the console's catalog. Now, the real solution to this is to just go track down the original cartridges, which is a very expensive proposition and not really the best one. Let's be clear. If I buy the cartridge for a game that I want to play, the developer of that game gets $0 for that. They already got paid when the original cartridge was released. And so there is no way for the developers, the publishers, to get paid on most of these games. And that is one of the things that drives people like me to emulation. Now, there are a lot of people over the years who have done emulation, just to save a buck. And I don't honestly think that buck was ever going to be saved. I don't think many of them would have ever purchased the game to begin with. But I know of quite a few cases where it actually led to the purchase of games. But a lot of people and I think retro gamers in general want to see real release of these games. They want to see the publishers, the developers support these games. And a lot of times a lot of times if something is re-released, we will rush out and purchase that, even though we have it already in an emulation or in the original release, as a show of support. I mean, this is like, let's face it, this is like the whole structure of Twitch, right? My channel just became affiliate, and so far I'm not offering a ton more to subscribers than I am to just viewers or followers. But that's kind of the community we have, is we want to support one another when we're gaining benefit from their channels. Like the people I subscribe to on Twitch, I really don't take part in any of the extras, but I want to support them because they've provided me so much. And a lot of us feel the same way about games. The anniversary edition of Myst is coming out soon, and I have 2 copies of Myst. I have 2 copies of Myst. I honestly don't know where one of those came from, but like legit copies. All right, I bought Riven. I bought Exile. That's where I stopped. And so the anniversary set has more games, but I'm probably going to buy it just because I want Myst. I want Myst to be available for modern computers. I want it to be available for modern systems, so that people who are stumbling upon this incredibly popular and incredible game from the past, they go, man, what is this Myst? I want them to be able to play it. The same goes with NES and SNES games. The cartridges are just getting more and more expensive, and we're slowly losing them. And there's going to be a point where none of us are going to be playing these games on original systems anymore. None of us. And none of us are going to be playing the original carts anymore. And that day is probably closer than we want to admit. We've become really conscious of that, and we've been working really hard to kind of maintain what we have. But accidents happen, and people who don't realize what they have come across them, and stuff like that. And we're losing these games. Emulation has been a way that we can keep the joy of these games, that we can share the joy of these games, that we can come back to it, and we can share it with goodness, my son just played Super Mario World. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it. And I want to be able to keep sharing these games with my kids. And in a lot of ways, and a lot of times, emulation has been the only way to do that. Thankfully, my SNES still works. My NES still works. My carts still work. I am very fortunate in that. But still, I have some Genesis cartridges that do not work anymore, and the only way that I'm going to be able to keep sharing these is through emulation. Unless the attitude amongst the owners of these properties changes, and the attitude with some of the big names like Nintendo changes, and they figure out a way to let us purchase not just the top 30 games on NES or 21 games on SNES, but all of them. I'd love to see that day happen. In the meantime, now, the way the laws are structured, it was well within Nintendo's rights to go after Emuparadise, and they got tired of fighting that battle, and I don't blame them. That's not their duty in life, is to fight Nintendo for us. But I, for one, will be mourning they're closing down, and I'm hoping in the future that, you know, the publishers lay off these sites and just you know, let us have some fun with some old games, especially when the publishers themselves are not letting us have some fun with those old games. So those are my 2 cents, and I really appreciate it. I need to get back to editing a bit, and I'm probably going to be doing some downloading later. So we'll talk to you soon.